Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. Shane, thank you so much for joining. We're having a good time already. Michelle and I. How are you, Michelle?
Oh, I missed you, brother. I've
I missed
missed
you
you.
too. I'm getting emails
Yeah.
like, is she okay? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
she's
no, it's
moving.
okay. Don't
She's
worry, but
she's having fun moving right now. I'm just playing like
yeah, you knew what was up. You knew I would be sort of incognito for a bit, and you know what it's like to adjust, and the timing of that process too is just so, from January, going through Christmas is always an assessment of nostalgia, and you go through this nostalgia and the different moves, and then when I move towards the new year, then I assess the previous year, and past years come up, and I reassess those and assess where I am now, and it's really a taking stock, and then to have the process of the move come in there so quickly and really from start to end was, from decision made to move completed, was less than 4 weeks, but with no stress or no panic, just really calm. And I already knew what the process was. I already knew this was part of it. It just made perfect sense to me, and there was no stress about it whatsoever. I even said to my mom, and considering I didn't have a lot of help and I did a lot on my own, but I said to Mom, there's nothing to worry about in the beginning. She showed me a text when I got here, I said, it's going to be done like magic, poof.
mm-hmm.
And there was definitely things that fell into play that, like, where normally I, would have, or many people would have stressed, well, how am I going to do that? Well, how am I going to do? And I didn't give it any concern at all. It was like I carried this feeling right from the beginning of the year that, like, that it'll just be done and easily done, and it'll just flow. So you don't, it really was a clear message in my mind of just letting the process flow and understand what it was. And so then, going through January, and obviously with the energy that came in, December 24th, January 2nd as well was really big. And then it just naturally pushed this purging process, of course, which was a great opportunity for me to go through that physically, go through my things again, release things, have gratitude for things I no longer need or use, and allow myself to release them. We often feel like, oh, God, I might need this someday. I want to hold on to this. Well, I had to do a lot of this move myself. So I had to keep in mind that I'm physically having to move this thing. How much stuff do you want to move? Is it worth moving it? But we can tend to hold on to things, or feel bad about getting rid of stuff, or I just found this really great process of giving gratitude to items that I no longer required, and it allowed me to release things very easily. And thank you for that shirt. That was a great color, but I didn't like the style, but I kept it because I might wear it someday. Well, thank you, and I can let you go.
Right.
Like little things to big things. And
I found a lot of things are like you can kind of like want to get rid of it, but not really want to. But if you just take a picture of it, like if it's got a little sentimental value to it, like then it's easier to let go of it, because it feels like you're not really completely letting go of it.
That's
and
very much
like
it.
you're
Was
moving
like
things into your phone pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was in essence kind of doing that in my mind.
Yeah.
Very, very much. Sort of mentally taking a picture of it, acknowledging the purpose that I had it for, being grateful for that, and then releasing it. And so very therapeutic process. And of course the timing of it was great. And so I went through that, and I stayed quiet. I didn't talk to a lot of people. Obviously I completely forgot it was Tuesday, like 2 weeks ago, totally forgot, which is like, and just wrapped up in the process, but never stressed. But I was never stressed. And so it all culminated. What is so fascinating is and the timing of it worked out that I was driving the 3-hour drive, the moving truck, during the eclipse, literally during the eclipse. And I always had a sense that was how it was going to work out too. And of course it did. So I really knew this was such a pivotal experience of going through a portal. Like, it really was a very physical portal for me. I prepared for the portal. I knew the portal was coming, and I was literally driving, traveling through the portal at the time, that it's physically manifesting for us, through the visualization of this eclipse, for all to see. And then, getting here at night, I got here and the moon was just coming out of it. Like, the top of it was just starting to crescent and the rest of it was all red. And of course, it's country here. I had just driven from the city, where it's hard to see all the stars. And then getting out here where you can see, it's glorious. And to see that, get out of the truck and boom, there it is. And it really was, just seeing the divinity and timing, divinity and the experience of it all, and seeing the plan as you go through the plan. And it was a great journey. And waking up here the next morning, the sun was shining. It had been so dingy and cloudy, no sun there. And then as all of a sudden I get here, I wake up and it's like the sun is shining, and it's been shining almost every day. It's just been beautiful. And to look outside, everything's peaceful. So what an experience. So the next big swell now is coming up to February 5th. And this is going to be very exciting for me. Personally, I really feel like this is what this has been building up to.
Well, what's February 5th?
For me, there's another new energy coming in. That date of a real shift in energy has to do with my birthday being the February 15th, which I know is the rainbow wave energy. And Luna's talked about that alignment and everything. I remember talking to Scott today. I didn't realize, I just knew February 5th. It's in my journals. I've written it down. I just know that's when the next real shift per se feels like, with
that's
energy.
Exciting, because I was already looking forward to February 22nd.
Yeah, but it's the Chinese New Year. So he just reminded me of that today. He just reminded me it's the Chinese New Year and the year of the pig. Well, that's my birth year. So it's my year for Chinese New Year. So we're going into the energy. I just felt the 5th and the 15th were attached to me. Mm-hmm. And in that connection, and then flowing through up until like March 21st, 22nd, and then again like 26th, 27th, and there it feels like in through there, into the equinox. Mm-hmm. I'm just feeling, like anything can happen as far as energy goes and ramping up that energy. So I'm excited, I think, to feel that energy coming in again, cycling back around, touching more people, affecting more people, and hopefully leveling up, as I like to look at it, leveling up for me again. I guess that's how I see it, as far as what is February. It's a leveling up, opportunity is what I'm seeing and anticipating. And it really rings a bell for me because it's, my birthday and just the timing. It's a year 3. It's lots of things. So I'm really excited. I feel like this was all preparation, getting this done and settling in, breathing, tuning into my new foundation within myself, within my environment.
And you're turning like 38 or something, aren't you?
30, yeah. 49. Almost 50. Oh, 50 years old. Not quite. 40. Yeah, 40.
That's unbelievable.
Well, I've in a lot of ways feel younger too, and it's got to do with this energy, and I think it shows. I think I
do not feel 60. I feel like I'm just playing.
You are not.
Sorry, I'm playing with the number.
You're not
you guys,
really my big brother, right? Right. I'm the older, even though I know the dynamic is you're the big brother, but. I'm still the older one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she's older than me, guys, so that just makes me
yeah.
look younger by saying that. Okay, so let me show something I think people will get a good laugh out of this because I just noticed this and I had sent it over to Sherry Overprotected because this happened on last night's show and it was just funny. I was like working like crazy to try to get it to come back, but let me I got it right on the spot here.
Oh, right. Your MK Ultra face.
My MK Ultra moment. Okay, here it is. My MK Ultra moment last night.
My channel, Go For It Randy, is really the only thing
The background is moving. So why is the background moving but you froze?
Because I'm on a green screen, so it's
the green screen. So the green, yeah, so it partially froze.
so just I froze. And
Is that
I'm
your like
looking,
mannequin you put in place when you run out and have a smoke or go to the bathroom? You just put the mannequin there. That's the mannequin.
Is that not crazy? That's so crazy. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at myself in the monitor.
Just frozen.
Finally, I pulled it down and I was like, all right, I better pull that down and fix it. So, anyway, it was hilarious.
You look like Gerard Depardieu. The guy who read that little clip. Sorry, he looked like that actor Gerard Depardieu. I missed the show, so I just saw that clip. Yeah, that was a little funny. It looked like you had a mannequin in there.
Oh wait. Oh, go-kart Bob. Shane is 60. I don't look like it, do I? Yeah, I hope my
don't believe everything you hear.
No, I'm 44. So
it's a magic number.
Yeah, 44, and my son was 11. He just turned 12. But whenever it was 11:44, it was like our time,
Yeah.
And, it was so funny because I noticed 11:44 right before midnight when he turned 12, right? And then he comes out and he's like, "It's 12:44, our new number."
Our new number.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
He's paying attention. He's obviously noticing.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's very awake. Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So, are you feeling comfortable in your new place? You like? I think I would love the stars probably more than anything, just from what you've described. Being able to go out on a clear night and not have all the city lights.
It's crazy.
Blocking out the.
I'm looking forward to the warmer weather when we get out there with the Muskoka chairs and you just like sit back and just watch and see what we see. Especially if we do our trip to ECETI. I was thinking about that and I was like, you never know.
I'm working on that. But see, it's hard to get a hold of them because they said they check their email once a week and that they're working on the schedule and that they take off between October, September, and March or something. So
they might really get flooded this year.
Yeah, so we're aiming for the beginning of August. Mm-hmm. If they don't have anybody already on the schedule, then we'll try to do our own event there. Or if there's enough room at an existing event, then we'll just go to that. But that's the thing because I think the kids go back to school later in August, and we don't want to have to deal with them going to because they won't wake up. They'll just not go to school.
No, we want to in the summer. Yeah,
if we're gone, you know what I mean. Especially just coming out of summer where they're used to being up till midnight and stuff, So.
Yeah.
Or later.
Yeah. Or later. Yeah. No, we want to do it in the summer too. I think it'd be a lot of fun. When is Contact in the Desert?
I think that's coming up pretty quick. But that's in California, so.
Is it? Okay. Why was I thinking it was the same? I'm confused. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how have you been finding that dream time?
Not much going on for me in dream time right now. Not that I can remember anyway. I wake up feeling like I was in a deep sleep and was having dreams. But let's see, May 31st till June 3rd is Contact in the Desert this year.
Okay.
So it is a few months away. But
yeah, we'll be making that because I think I'm doing Sedona. I got my ticket. I'm doing Sedona in April.
Yeah.
So end of April with Travis. Hopefully a couple other people. So just coordinating that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get Carrie out there so you can meet him.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. We'll make sure for sure we'll connect. So,
and of course some other get-togethers. Hopefully, I'm hoping people all over the country, all over the world actually, will begin to sort of take up the reins. I'll help support them and get the word out about it. But, I can't make it to every single one of them, but I hope that people, can make it out there. I'm thinking like if you can have one like in bordering states of the previous one, then some of the people can come over and continue that connection. So it's like,
right.
like we went to Texas, it's a bordering state. And then if we go to Missouri to the next one, then we sort of bring that energy of the Texas people that weren't able to make it. Yeah, and it's like always somebody there that was at a previous meeting to carry the baton or
carry
make
the seed.
Connection. Yeah.
It's carrying that seed, passing on the baton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
which is what Megan did, who attended in Austin. She went to all these sacred sites with these stones, and then she charged up all these stones on this grid and gave us all one of them. So we have, like, it's been charged with these sacred sites, and then we all took it our own way. So hopefully, you know, and then I've charged it up, a couple up and sent it to Becky Lewis. And so I'm, you know, just trying to do the same thing with us, because we're like crystals, you know?
That's right.
People. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Megan, I'm hoping, I'm not sure if she is or not, but I know Travis was going to talk to her about it, about making it with us. So that would be a lot of fun.
Atsuko lives in California, so she might be able to make it back to Arizona. Or maybe even contact in the desert if anybody goes out there. So it's nice having people located all over the place.
Yeah. Well, once I get sort of this under my belt, I think it'll be one after the other. I'm looking forward to making lots of trips. So that's a great thing with being out here. It'd be it's like going to be a lot easier for me to do that. So to have the money to do it, and to, you know, the dogs are good. Like, it's, you know, I can leave the dogs with mom. And
how cold is it there? I'm looking. It's
freezing.
41 degrees. Pretty cold, huh?
Cold.
Yeah.
It's cold today. Yeah, it's
so
cold.
Oh, actually, you've got some record lows going on up there, don't you?
Yeah,
you're in that area that's like purple right now.
I don't know if it's record. It's definitely not record cold here right now. Like, I'm record cold here is pretty cold. So, but the day that I actually moved, like, thankfully the drive was, it wasn't snowing, it wasn't raining, but it was cold. It was so cold. It was a clear night, so we could see the moon and everything, but it was like minus 30, and that's that's in like bloody cold. It was really, really something. So everything in the truck literally froze overnight.
Let me see, minus 30 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's see what that is.
It's right.
It's like negative 22. So it's, I guess they get closer and closer together as they.
Because it gets down to it. Really, does the number matter?
Right.
Really?
It's down there where it doesn't even matter anymore.
It's so like cold that you can't think anymore. So I don't think the number matters.
So cold, you will die if you're out there very long.
That's you're dead. So the number doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh. So okay, so I had T. Taylor on.
I want to talk about that.
And that was pretty interesting because it was like aligning with some of the stuff you're going to be doing on a future video with cymatics and geometric patterns. I don't know if you even caught the Saturday show, and I know you've been busy, but we had on the couple that does those metaform sacred geometry shapes on again.
Oh, see,
and they were talking about that.
They were talking about too.
It's all tied together, you know.
This is playing on my mind huge this week. Like, it's been, you know, I wait for, you know, as far as getting ideas and stuff, things that I want to look at or work on or create, or, you know, whether it's a video or artwork or whatever it is, you know, I just kind of let it unfold and let the world around me speak to me. Like, what does it keep telling me? What keeps coming up? You know, what patterns keep coming up? And that's literally what's been happening, is patterns coming up. And I'm just fascinated with the connections that I'm seeing form now between sacred geometry, mandalas, the patterns, right? And sound frequency. The people, you know, the videos, there's people taking videos from like really good Nikon zoom cameras of stars, not all the stars, but some of the stars. And when you zoom in, they're not stationary. They're bopping around like this. They're doing this. But what they're showing is a frequency pattern. And I looked it up. So the frequency patterns, you know, just like we were saying, like if you take a flat board, right, and put sand on it, put on top of a speaker, and you play the different notes, you get different patterns. They form the patterns.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been very drawn to doing these patterned drawings, like obsessively so. And this is part of why I knew, I kept popping in my head, this art to activate, this idea, this term kept showing up in my head. But I didn't quite understand what the concept was. And it's starting to, all these pieces are starting to click into place when I'm seeing these common images. If you, yeah, frequency patterns, Shane, there's quite under images, there's quite a few, and you can start to see that they have the same aspects. And what I saw is T. Taylor had her videos where she's zooming in, and when she's adjusting the filter so she's able to pull out the highlights, and you really see the pop, and they look like they're illuminated, and you can see like crystalline pattern forms, just like with the experiments with water, with putting your intentions in water and seeing them form the patterns. They form these geometric patterns like mandalas or like snowflakes, or right, they all form these patterns. And even the frequency, the sounds of frequency form these same patterns. So I'm just fascinated with this. I'm thinking, is this why I've been drawing these out, and what's playing on my mind with this? So I'm definitely, I don't know if you can see this as an example.
That's beautiful.
So that's what I'm talking about. I drew this. It's all ink and pen. So
it's amazing.
But so, because the idea that I've had lately is, there's a lot of great art channels on there. I'm thinking about possibly starting a second one, just all artwork, where you just video working on pieces, and you put in fast forward and work on it. But I kept having this idea of art, that this has to do with art to activate, that there's something to do with that.
That's funny, because I've been feeling like doing more of these patterns like that too, these mandala type patterns, and I think there is something that activates. Because I mean, think about like some of the crop circles feel very activating when I look at them. Is it like that for you?
Yes, they are, and because they're these patterns, that's why they're putting them there. They're showing the the geometry, right? And and it's just like, or what are those spiral things you did when you were a kid, right? And you put it.
Oh, where you put the little gears with the little holes, and you.
Yeah. This I do by hand, but. And then there's the mandalas, right? Why all through so many different cultures. There's different forms of mandalas and patterns through all these different cultures. And why? And there's a reason why. It's got to do with frequency. It's not just lines on a piece of paper. This is what's really coming to me. I thought I was just putting lines on a piece of paper.
Right.
I was being told in my head that there's something to do with art to activate, but I didn't understand the connection. Yeah. So now seeing these images and seeing, why is a star doing the same thing as crystalline formations in the skin that T. Taylor's picking up? And if you look at sound and you see the patterns that it makes, and then you look at sacred geometry and the patterns that they make.
Thank you, Ryan. I think spectrograph, is that what they're called?
Yeah, I think there's,
spectrograph, the little gears.
I'm thinking about getting one of those again, and just to fill it in and just like do those and then fill in all the patterns with it. But yeah, and I mean, I've done so much work. And I knew that had something to do with it. These types of drawings had something to do with it. But I don't even plan these drawings when I do them. I literally go into meditation mode. There's no forethought at all. If anything, it's a challenge to constantly be shifting my patterns and changing, so I'm not getting locked into the same drawing pattern, right? So it creates a diversity in the picture. Yeah. But I don't even plan these. I'm just like totally, because my mom looked at it. She's like, how do you even do that? Like, how are you, the detail? Like, it's just so...
Can you show it again? Oh, wow.
That's another one. So there's no forethought going into it. I'm just drawing. Yeah, is the first one.
But that's kind of the point, isn't it? It's like, and I think that's my problem a lot of times, is too much planning, too much left brain goes into it. I need to just wing it and go all right brain with it because.
Well, that's it. Yeah. And I mean, doodling is a great exercise for that, but it's a bit,
beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm really,
Oh, spirograph. Is that what it's called? Because I looked it up.
Yeah. Spiral. I thought it was spiral something.
Yeah.
Spirograph. So,
So you didn't use a spirograph for that, right?
No, that's by hand. I think I used compass to do a couple circles, and that was it. The rest just pen and ink and just pen and ink. Like, these are great challenges. This is just for anybody who is artistic and you just don't know what to do and you want to loosen it. It really loosens up the boundaries of the mind because we get in very habit forming behavior. So all this is it's like a doodle circle, and you start in the center, and you're just constantly changing your pattern. You just constantly invent a new pattern. You don't think about it. You don't, right? And at first it looks like nothing. You're drawing nothing, but by the end, and you fill it all in.
Yeah, that's what Allison Coe's saying. It's flow, not thought.
It's flow, and you just flow, and you don't forethought and think of it. So I'm constantly changing pattern. It's just a great meditation exercise. It's a great to relax your mind, and I think get that left brain, right brain unfrozen. If you have creative blocks, you're trying to do something creative.
You're inspiring me, Michelle.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, you really are. I'm like, I need to do this. I need to just grab a pencil. And
this is why I want to focus on the artwork too. Yeah. Because I think there's a lot that I can sort of pass on, and this is why so many of us are creative. And being so drawn to being creative. I think it really is an expression of really what we are. And so I just really feel like there's more I can share about that that I think might appeal to the artists and the musicians and those in creative process. And I don't know, I'm really going to delve into this art to activate in these patterns, and why being so drawn to do these patterns, and it just keeps popping up.
We have a lot of artists in here, so I tell you what, if she inspired you as well and you create a piece of art, email it to us. Take a picture of it with your phone, email it to us. We'd love to see it, and then we'll share it and we'll hopefully inspire other people, because I feel like there's a deeper level of activation going on with this stuff.
Yeah, for myself, I've, especially in the last 2 years as part of this process, have really expanded myself creatively. Like, I've really spread my wings creatively. That's the neat thing about moving too, and going through your things and going through everything and seeing what you did, so being there for, 2 years, what had I accumulated? What had I created? And, what had I done? And when you go through everything, you get a really good idea and picture of what that is. And I can't believe how much work I created. I really surprised myself. There's stuff that I totally, forgot about. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did this. So I really have been able to relax into that creative flow, and it's been magnificent, the part of the process. It really has helped me to spread my wings, and it's a very meditative thing too. It really is a great aspect to maintaining a meditative state through all of what's going on. Definitely. Like, a lot of times I'll listen to information. I'll listen to the stuff, like Shane and I are similar with the way we research and listen to all these different videos and things, but I'll just draw while I'm doing it, so I'm never too attached into, I think, those exterior things that are going on, because I can observe yet be detached and creatively occupied elsewhere. So I'd really like to pass a lot of that on to other people, and how to explore that creative side and expand that creative side more in this process. Because I really think a lot of us have seen that really blooming, that it being inspired in us, creative ideas floating to the surface, and us being inspired to create more, to paint more. And I've definitely seen a lot of evidence of that within the last couple of years. So I imagine as this swell grows, as this next wave of energy comes around cyclically again, you know, it's scooping in the well, and it's scooping up more people as it goes to begin this process and go through this process and experience these energies and these shifts creatively. So because I imagine that a lot of us being artists, and if some of the newer ones that awoke to this energy within the last couple of years and have experienced sort of what I'm talking about, there may have been a period for a while where you weren't being your creative self. You know, maybe long periods of time where you put that in the closet and you shut the door and you weren't being your creative self, and life kind of took over, and you're like, well, it's great. That'd be a great idea. When am I going to get time to do it? Or how do you make it part of your life? Yeah. And part of this process, I think, is that coming back to the surface, because it is so much part of us. Mm-hmm. And allowing us to start to express that again is starting to express ourselves. Because I think our environment really dampens it out of us. It can really dry up our creativity and make it very hard for us to feel like we have the time to spend, or the focus to spend on those creative endeavors, right? Or if we do something creatively, it's got to be some masterpiece. Like, it's always got to be something. Well, I've got to make something. I've got to finish it. I've got to, you know, just creating for the sake of creating. It doesn't always have to be something. And getting back to that, I really feel is going to be important for a lot of us. And I think a lot of people will be new to experiencing that as they get picked up by this next wave of energy. So we'll see.
Very, very much so. That's funny. I just got MK Ultra'd again with my with my camera. I'm trying to fix it.
Cognitive dissonance?
Well, not again. Okay, at least I caught it in time before I'm sitting here on the screen.
Just frozen in time.
I was just thinking about what you were saying, and you know, even I've been inspired to actually pick up the pen and the paper, the pencil and paper, or Sharpie or something, because, like, you look at the artwork that surrounds this page that we're on here, and that was probably the last thing I did a few months back or whatever. And a lot, you know, the digital stuff is cool, but there's something about the whole analog, the holding the pencil and the just letting it flow directly in there without the whole, you know, control.
Why do you think ASMR is so popular?
Right.
You know, just pencils, just the pens. Like, I got a delivery today from Amazon of my art supplies that I ordered. I don't think there's any. Like, that's just, I can't even tell you. You know, it's the new markers. You know, looking at new markers, I just can't get enough.
The whole charcoal pencil thing and the blending, and I never even thought about ASMR as it relates to that or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got new paint. I got new paints. Trying out new stuff. Trying out all kinds of new stuff. Trying out gouache. But see, I'll do any. Like, I'll work on anything. Not everything has to be something. This is a coloring book. I'm painting in a coloring book. So.
Very nice. Oh, hold on. Let me make it big. Here we go.
Yeah. So that's the picture, making it look like that.
Yeah.
But. You know, because sometimes you don't have to, you know, draw everything out. I just want to color. I just want to deal with color. I just want to color something in.
We're rule breakers too, so look, I think it'll look better if it's these colors instead.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. No, I don't want the line. I like the line over here.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish this had more shading. I'm going to add more shading. Yeah, really.
Yeah. So it doesn't. You know, it doesn't all have to be like, you know, something that's going to be this, you know, masterpiece. Sometimes it's just the act of just creating that's the joy, and that's enough. You know, that it doesn't always have to be something. And certainly that doodle drawing and stuff like that is a great expression of that. You're just enjoying the process, feeling the process. You're in the now of the process. It's not all pressure of, well, what's it going to be? What's it going to mean? What's it going to do? Is it going to be useful? Is it going to be valued? You know, what is its measure?
Yeah.
Instead of just being in the process, just being alive in that creative process for the joy of it, and the rest of it doesn't matter.
That's kind of like what you lose when you start doing work for other people, whether it's their logo and things like that. It's like, you know, you got to try to fit inside what they want. You spend all this time and put your heart into something. They're like, well, I kind of wanted it like this instead. And you're like,
just squeeze the joy right
that
out of
came from
you.
my heart, man.
Yeah, came from your heart. Yeah, well,
Look
watch
at it, consider it.
And and that's why I didn't too, because I certainly got the art training and everything. I could have gotten into the school that I wanted, but when it came push to shove, like to think about making my art my career as far as in advertising or whatever it was, I knew it would suck the life out of me. I didn't do it. So, but yeah, couldn't see myself.
I would spend so much time on like using like the golden ratio, and then you try to explain that to people. You're like, well, look at the placement of this. You got the hidden golden ratio here, and then you got this and here, and this represents this, and like they're like, yeah, I just want it simple, just like this, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So,
well, that's it. I think once those foundations are in there, you actually have to just set them and forget them. Because you can so focus on the perfectionism, you're not trusting. Your subconscious already knows the golden ratio.
Right.
There's part of your mind that already knows all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's good about planning's good. When I want to, elementally sort of draw out a big project that I'm working on, obviously you want to plan it somewhat, but to work without that, you're working intuitively. You're tapping in more to your subconscious. It's just like, why can't we remember that stuff, that information that we're getting downloaded in our dreams? And because it comes up when we need it. It's like when the situation arises and it's there, when we're working intuitively, when we're really grounded within that trust of self and knowing that the information is in there in the vault and that you pull it up when required. So I have to remind, that's a good practice with the artwork as well too, is structure is one thing, and setting up a planning, but also to remember to work without a plan, and to trust myself intuitively. Like in my mind's eye, the training's already being there, so I will feel where the placement is appropriate. Yeah. And leaning on the feeling, not the mathematics, not the rules, right? But your own inner knowing.
But I was mainly referring to the people that are like mainly into like a minimalist sort of, like how about just the letters and then do them in different, like the Google logo or something,
right.
Well, not their actual logo, but the word that they have,
right?
And it's just a font with coloring the letters differently or something super simple, which I totally get that. I do like the simple design sometimes. I don't know if it's just the way culture.
It's not really in my nature.
But yeah, it's right.
All these little details, no.
I don't know how many times that I'm like, man, I could have done this like in like 10 minutes if I'd known this is what they really wanted, and I could have got paid like the $50 or $100 for the logo and been done in like, that's good money, $50 in 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Oh, beg your pardon. You were just trying to make it good.
Right. I was actually trying to earn my money you're paying me, but okay, if you just want this font,
if you want, garbage, all right. But that's the thing, I think if you put your name to something, that's where it becomes tricky. Do you want to put your name to that? That's not your style. That's not your thing. That was their thing. You just copied their thing for them.
Yeah.
But you made that, right? Yeah. And then you're stuck with it.
Well, I think that's where the whole portfolio thing comes in. Because I had people, this one book I illustrated where the guy was like, this is for like 4-year-olds. This is for preschool. I just wanted a super simple. And it ended up being like almost like just little emojis with little square bodies or whatever. And, I get it. It was real colorful and it broke all the color rules and things like that, which is fine. But I just don't put it in my portfolio. Because I don't want him to think, the guy asked for me to illustrate his book, and then I gave him this, and then people are going to look at him like, wow, he really just, did it as simple as possible. You know what I mean? Jeez.
I get it. Yeah. Stickman. And here's my Stickman.
It was basically in your portfolio. Like Stickman. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny though. Yeah, what are you going to do? You just got to give people what they want. So, but that's why I'm glad that you're bringing that up, because it's been a while since I've just created for the sake of creating, and that's what's inspiring. That's what made me love art to begin with.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize people want you to, you know, bring their visions to life. And, you know, it's like an artist is the worst person to work for. You know, I got to where I wouldn't even work for an artist because they have exactly what they want. They just don't want to do it, you know. But they've got this vision in their mind. Maybe they don't have the time to do it or whatever. Right. But they're like the worst critic because of it too. Gotcha. You know?
That line's a little, I kind of see it. And, weevil in the brain because you can't get rid of it. It's like, oh no, that's not right.
Yeah.
And it's so glaring. It's you can't be picky. I used to go get my nails done. God forbid that poor girl, you know. That is not even. It's not.
Right. You got to get them
that will drive me crazy.
Put the base color on there, and you add all the designs on top of it.
Oh, they tried to do that on. They tried to. We do a snowman. I'm like, no, it's probably better that you don't. All right, no, just try only, right? Because they don't just do it. And I'm like, yeah, no.
Right.
Like that will drive me nuts.
Yeah.
That is not straight. It's not like it's no.
I totally get it though.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, this is my artwork.
Yeah.
I've got every single hair. I'm like no. Yeah.
That would be a tedious job, wouldn't it? I've seen some pretty cool looking nails though, where it's like, wow, somebody actually took like no, it was stickers. I'm like, oh, okay, so they've come up with a shortcut for that.
Yeah, the stickers. Yeah, stickers on your nails. Yeah, yeah. Oh well, there was a time and a day, but it's long past for me. It's sparse.
Sorry, fellas, I didn't mean to drive this to fingernails.
Fingernails, yeah. Neither did I. Those days are gone. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So what do you got on the back burners now that you can get back onto it now that you're done with the
I traded in the drums and got a keyboard.
Really?
Very excited about that. Yeah, I did my drum thing, kind of, got it on my system. It was good. But it doesn't make sense at mom's, you know.
You don't want to run mom off, that's for sure, right?
Yeah. And and so he's not crazy about the drums either. So but I had fun, it was good, but they're really large, whatever. And I'd be meaning to do really intrigued with the keyboard because I got all the equipment for it. I could plug it in. I can literally make my own music a lot easier than a set of drums per se. This is much more hands-on for me to actually.
And there's drums on that, right?
There's everything on it. Yeah.
You can put headphones on and
I got my headphones on. It's got it's got everything. I was like, that's been really fun. You know, the manual is like this, and I'm a novice, and then I got an app to learn how to play, and I'm like flying through that. So that's been fun. Like, you know what? It's an amazing feeling right now. Like once I got everything sort of unpacked and set up, which I did pretty quickly because I minimalized and I knew where everything was. And so boom, 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 it all kind of unfolded. And then it's just been like getting up and be like, okay, well, what do you want to have fun doing today? You know, I think I'll play my keyboard. I think I'll paint for a little bit. I think I'll read for a bit. Right? Because I have managed to sort out those other things. It's all sort of knacked into place. You know, where I was back in November where I was saying, you know, they're pressuring me, Shane. They're like, you need to do this. That's what everybody else does. You need to go get a job. You need to, right? And I'm like, I'm holding on because I know. And, you know, we talked about this over the holidays and I even put in a resume. He's like, you're not going to hear back because you're not supposed to do. That's not what you're supposed to do. And you know that. And I'm like, I know. But it's like, it's coming down to the, you know, to the finish line. And
I knew if you would just hang in there, things would fall into place. Because that's how it was with me.
Boop.
Yeah, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't worry about all that other stuff.
We got it so good that you don't even know how good it is. Like I got a money that I was not expecting at all, more than enough for me to not worry about the move, totally not expecting. I was like, there you go, that problem solved. You know, the whole course down the line was all like that. Yeah, just go do this. No, it's okay. And
it does get nerve-wracking though. Things come down the line, you're like, you don't see a way out, and then something you least expect pops up, and you're like, wow, this is amazing.
It was so. I got the news right over Christmas about this money coming in, and it was very surreal. It was very surreal, and it was just like, wow, okay, like magic. And that's all I got, you know, going in and going into like it's just gonna be like magic, like poof, magic. And everything. There's a lot of little things. Even my mom couldn't believe when we got the last dresser upstairs. We had 2 pieces of furniture. I didn't know how I was going to move it. This whole set of circumstances unfolded that, when you look at it first, where I went to return the truck, they don't take trucks back there anymore. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I didn't know where else to take it. I had to take it. All these things that could have gone wrong, right? Because I was having to drop off the truck and take a cab back from the truck to my mom's, and which out in the country is not cheap. What are you going to do? And we still had these 2 dressers. Just her back was done. I didn't know how we were going to get these 2 dressers upstairs. Yeah. And I had to put gas in. So I stopped at the one place. Well, he ends up putting the gas in for me, making sure it's at the right amount. He's like, I don't take him here, but I'll call the other place. Gave me the directions, told me where to go. I go to the other place, and they're super nice. Turns out, just by listening to my head, just listening, I got the gentle suggestion in my head, ask them if they know anybody to help move, right? I'm like, oh, and I did. And they're like, yeah, no problem. He's going to be back in like 5 minutes. I got a ride home, and the dressers moved for less money. The kid wouldn't even take all the money I was going to give him, but still less money than the cab ride would have cost me. Yeah. And I walked in, and Mom wasn't expecting it. I just walked in, and we're both like, she's worries a little more, but how are we going to do this? And I just walked in. Oh, problem solved. Boop, boop, boop. And he was gone. Poof. Truck's back. Good. Furniture's moved. Yeah. But what started off as first pulling in, oh no, we don't take the trucks back here anymore. And I'm like, what are you going to do? But I don't panic. But it could be like, oh no, now what? Right. But if I'd returned the truck there, I never would have got the mover. I never would have got the, you know what I mean? But you can see it. I got back in the door, and it was like poof magic. And that's when Mom said, yeah, watch your text. Let me go back to the text. Because when I get messages, I'll send them to my mom. She'll ask me something, and I'll get a message about it. Like I know it's something to bring up and remember later. Yeah. And it was that, like, everything is just going to flow like magic. Poof. She couldn't believe it. And I was just like, yeah, that's my life now,
And it's sort of getting to that point where you're like, well, why did this happen? This happened for a reason, because you realize nothing's accidental anymore. And there's your answer right there. You just wait around long enough and keep paying attention, and you'll see why things unfold the way they do. They might not make sense when it's happening.
Exactly. But, exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing, is it's starting to make sense while it's happening.
Yeah.
So while these things faster. Are going, easier, right? Yeah. And easier to listen to your own intuitions, your own nudges, your own. It was like, oh, that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. Oh, because they can help me move the stuff. Oh, right? Oh, I don't even have to take a cab. Oh, I'll get a ride home, and he'll move the stuff for less money. Oh, right? And it's done before noon. Oh. Yeah. So, cool. And that's really what it's been. Yeah, that's what it's been like, this whole process. And it was like, I was told that that's how it was going to be. And then I was able to watch it unfold that way, and, actually enjoy the experience of it, never actually get stressed out, and see how it was unfolding. And it ended up being so easy. What could have been a very difficult experience and frustrating was smooth sailing. I literally portaled. I just portaled on over to my mom's. So, and we're quite happy.
2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, I shouldn't say that, because
I've always I'm doing this. 2 stones.
Somebody like somebody like went off. You don't kill birds. Like that. I didn't even realize what I was saying. It's like a saying, man. I'm not going to hurt any birds. Jeez, it's just a saying.
Liberal. Don't start crying.
I need another saying like that, because I don't know how many, sayings like that we say, and it's like, we don't realize what we're saying.
Yeah, well, Mom and I were talking about that last night. I'm like, some things I say, and I'm like, everybody gets so offended, speaking your truth. And I find I'm admiring people right now that even if I don't agree with everything they're saying, what I'm admiring is the authenticity for which they're speaking their truth, because they've just had it.
Yeah.
They've just had it with people telling them what they should say and they shouldn't say, and what they're, and what's right and what's wrong, and why are you getting to make, these decisions, and and so I'm enjoying a few people online that are just quite bold in just stating their truth, and real men being men again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm admiring
we need more of that.
Yeah,
as well as the divine feminine being allowed into.
There has been a real attack on, I have to say, there has been a real attack on white masculinity, and putting them in the defensive corner as, being racist. So you shouldn't even defend, you shouldn't even say that there's a problem with that, because then there's a real illusion that's being created. And so I'm admiring some men right now online, and I just really feel like, you know what? I'm a guy. I'm a guy's guy. I'm a guy through and through. I'm a tall guy. Like, what's the difference? I'm watching Owen Benjamin, to be honest. He's a tall guy. He's like 6'7", and he's had it. He's just had it. And I don't, and there's lots of people that may be offended with some of the things he said, but I'm just respecting and enjoying the fact that he is speaking his truth, whatever that may be, and seeing a lot more people speak their truth. And we don't all have to choose to celebrate everybody else's choices. Like, you're entitled to your own, opinion, and that seems to be getting washed away in ambiguity, with tolerance. And we can be tolerant, but doesn't mean we have to celebrate things that we don't agree with, or support things that we don't agree with. But if you don't, then you're the bad person. And I think there's a lot of people getting really tired of that, getting fed up with being told what they're supposed to tolerate, or what is or
even
normal.
how they're supposed to be. It's just, I think a lot of that judgment's going to begin to fall away more and more and more, just whether it's worldviews or religions or politics and all that, because it seems that things get worse before they get better, and you can definitely see how things are ramping up with the polarity scene and all that.
That's it. Yeah, it really is. And I think that's where the test comes in too, in becoming masters, is really balancing that, not being distracted by the polarity as it really does extend itself to the breaking point, as we really see some things become more and more ludicrous, or the polarities of things really become bigger and bigger and louder and louder.
3, 2, 1 on my clock here.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Take off.
Central time.
It's 4, 2, 1 here. That's okay.
I've been seeing that more and more, though.
Yeah, Scott just mentioned that on the phone earlier today. He woke up at 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. So it's funny that you just said it, because not 2 hours ago somebody else said it to me too. 3, 2, 1. I got up at 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Or 1, 2, 3, 4 is a good one too. 12:34. Yeah.
Yeah. They're constant now. That's just my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm a little more even keel with you. I'm at a 4:22. My favorite being 4:20. So 2 minutes past 4:20 is a good
2 minutes. 2 minutes late for something, right?
I'm a couple minutes in. It's good.
17:22 there. So let's see.
So what did everybody think about that? I know a lot of artists are out there, those frequencies visually and the patterns that they create and creating. So curious about what other people are experiencing over the last few weeks and stuff too with the energy. Did you guys feel the energy come in January 2nd, the 24th? I know I really felt that. I'm really feeling the different things. And experiences from I did go through nausea. Like, I literally almost threw up one night out of nowhere, just a few days ago. And that was really strange. So definitely have been feeling some symptoms with that. Yeah. Like, I was in bed ready to go to sleep, and all of a sudden I thought I was going to throw up out of nowhere. I don't get that. That was really, really bizarre.
So really, that is wild.
Yeah.
I have been feeling the energies a lot more, just the feeling of just being blissful and wanting to take a deep breath. It reminds me of who's the Infinite Waters guy that
Diving deep.
Yeah, diving deep, and he's like,
Infinite Waters.
breathing that good ass prana.
That's prana, baby.
Yeah, I've been feeling like that though.
The man down the street or something. What is he saying?
Right.
He's hilarious. See, I love his energy. Oh my gosh, he's just got so much vibrant energy, eh?
Yeah.
You know?
Infinite Waters, diving deep. I don't watch him as I just see him every now and then, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always
yeah.
slow motion this side.
People have no idea what they're.
Oh yeah, people that don't know.
Is that what it's called? Is it called Infinite Waters Diving Deep? What is this?
So. Something like that.
Called?
I think if you search Infinite Waters Diving Deep, I'm sure it'll come up. I think most people have seen him from time to time that are on YouTube. I think he's got 500,000 subscribers or something, doesn't he?
Oh, I thought more than that even.
It could be.
Yeah.
Waters. Let's see. Yeah, Infinite Waters. Let's see. Oh, 1.4 million. Yeah, I guess most people know that guy.
4 million. Not bad for giving uplifting spiritual advice every day.
Yeah, right? Why don't you drop my name there, Mr. Infinite Waters? No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, he's been working on that for quite a while though. It's really.
Oh, has he? Yeah, I bet
great information. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Usually, I'll come across this stuff by just looking up something like like look up maybe a Kundalini activation or look up whatever, and it's like it'll usually be a video of him, and I'm like, oh, let's check this guy out. I always watch him, so it's not. I think. Oh, actually, I don't think I was subscribed. No, I just noticed that. I don't have to though. He comes up whenever I need him to come up. Yeah. That's why it's like I don't even worry about it with my own. I'm like, I'll come up if I'm supposed to.
Yeah, it'll come up when it. Yeah, exactly. Even that, I'm finding, like the information like I've just let it come to me more than having to go digging for it.
Yeah.
Now, and it just sort of floats in, and I just go with what inspires me or intrigues me. So I haven't necessarily decided on the next topic yet. Mom's like, what are you gonna make? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not quite feeling it yet. And that's time.
She's like ready to start with her researching for you and stuff. I'm ready. Let's go to work. We're a team. She's gonna be your silent partner. She's not gonna get on camera or nothing, huh? I'm not ready for that.
I don't know. I don't know if she'll be silent. She is my mother.
Is she watching right now? Hi, Mom. If you're watching, Mom's lurking.
She was gonna go. I was surprised she wasn't watching, but probably because then she would want to run upstairs and pipe in. But yeah, no, I'm still looking. I was thinking about doing Monday. Last night, but I just wasn't quite ready yet. I thought, you know what? I know what it is. I always wait for Shane just to break back in again, just get comfortable and get set up and got my microphone back plugged in. Yeah, and you always, I'm like, I'll just wait and do my show with Shane, and then and then I know and then I'll be good to go to work on something and get my videos back out. But it's still a bit of a catch-22 with me as far as trying to make a variety of things, but the ones that actually do really well, that I'm getting a substantial amount of views on, it's not necessarily the premise that I want to take with every video that I make. I'm just going with what intrigues me at that time, and I'm fortunate. I think it's cool that it's intrigued other people, but I want to be wary of a tendency to not be doing things based on doing them just, because that's what people seem to be wanting. It makes it a little more daunting to do my live streams with the numbers going up, and because I know a lot of the numbers are coming from a specific tier of videos, which I find very fascinating, and I really like the topic, but it's a fraction of really the things that I like to look at and explore. So it's
people
a little,
like us aren't so much for chasing trends and things like that. I mean, you can see where you do get more viewers and more subscribers and stuff, but if it's not where your heart's at, it's like I'm gonna go where my heart's at.
How can I? No, I haven't come this far. So, but then I think, you know what? I sit back with it and I go, you know what? Michelle, you'll be guided to be inspired and work on what it is at that time that I'm to be inspired by. As long as I'm in that and in that moment and in that understanding and, in a good place every day, then what needs to come to me will come to me when it's supposed to. And what will do well will do well. Like, I will be okay regardless. There will be a measure of success for me in just simply following the inspirations, whether or not they appeal to other people or not. They're going to appeal to some people and not appeal to others, but to just keep doing my thing.
It's easy to get burnt out if you're not following your heart. If you're doing stuff for the numbers, then it just becomes more like work, and it's not like you're living on purpose or for purpose with a purpose in mind, other than something that's sort of shallow like numbers, but if something's really driving the passion in your work, if you follow that, then you don't get burned out as much. So I have to be careful, because if I'm doing something that I don't really want to do and I'm just doing it to maybe grow the channel, I'll get burnt out and I won't want to do it. But the topics we discuss,
like I want to create the consistency.
Yeah.
It was doing really better. I had to get this move done, but you saw my consistency was getting much better as far as producing videos and more quickly and more happy with the results and everything.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. You don't realize, and to get those ideas. And I think that sometimes the political topics, those kind of topics, can be easier just to punch out. They could be intriguing, but I don't want to just talk about politics either. Right. So those can be a little easier to get instant and produce and do that. But
it can bring out the 3D people in droves too.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Exactly. So this is why I know I'm just feeling more drawn to get back to the artwork and and I think initially I'll put stuff out on the channel that I currently have, but I'm just debating whether or not to start a second channel as well. That's just art. So I don't know, because I do have a second one anyways, and just switch the title art to activate. I haven't really made up your input's appreciated, guys. I haven't really decided what to do with that. So, because I really do like the channel that I produced so far, The Imagination Warrior. I really like exploring ideas, and I want to maintain the freedom to explore a variety of ideas, and whatever questions or situations or any of these things come up in whether it's space weather or Q stuff or other information that I'm researching. I like to have that freedom. There's so much. It really is under that great umbrella of what that all is. So it's just a lot of people that's why I still appreciate us doing these chats, because I can really just focus more on talking about the energy a lot more and what I'm experiencing with that, because that's not necessarily relevant, unfortunately, to everybody that's viewing my channel currently. So
dreams and synchronicities and all that fun stuff.
Which I want to have more on. So I'm looking for volunteers for interviews, just to just widen the variety of topics, right? Actually, I'm doing a session with Leia. Well, I'll do a thing with that. She's doing a healing session, so on Thursday. So I'll get back to you in regards to that experience, probably next Tuesday, be able to tell you a little bit about that and do a video for that. But you know what, if anybody wants to share their information with me and maybe join me in doing a chat and an interview, talk about your experiences, whether it's dreams, whether it's something to do with ascension or awakening or whatever it is. But I'm looking for people to come on to do some new topics and some new things.
And your email is on the screen right now, wolf.art101@gmail.com. And you can get a hold of her directly that way. And then, of course, your channel link is in the description box below. So if you're not already subscribed, which I think most of the viewers here are, but if you're not, you can click on over there and subscribe. And she's going to be posting again now that you're all settled in your new home.
Yeah, and looking for ideas. So if you guys have topics, send them on over. So I'd love some inspiration, some different ideas and things you guys think might be interesting to talk about, because there's certainly a lot of stuff, but I like the feedback to know, what the response of what do you guys think? What are you finding interesting right now? What do you think the word of the day or the word of the week is?
Right.
For me, it's plasma. By the way, plasma. I always tell you it's plasma right now. It's all about plasma.
It's funny you said that because my daughter bought it's like this Buddha with his hands up like this, and he's holding a plasma ball, one of those that you can put your hand around it. And she got it for I think $7 at the flea market. I'm like, you're so lucky. That's so cool.
That's a cool Buddha with plasma.
So I keep making jokes like I'm going to take it from. I'm like, oh, you got that for Dad, huh? That's cool. Thank you. So
take
I
your
might
Buddha.
have to give her.
Steal your Buddha.
She's a business person. If she can make $3 on it, she might just do it. Well, it's good to have you back. We're going to be seeing more of you. We'll see you weekly again, right?
Yeah,
all
good.
Talk shift weekly.
We're talking some shifts.
Yeah.
We'll see what's coming up. It's going to start to get cooking. It's going to start to get cooking soon. It's sort of being a real lull in the quietness with this process, but I think really things are going to start to pick up in interesting energy ways come February. So, definitely. It's going to be fun.
Times. Wait, is the 7th on or the 5th? Let me see. Is the 5th next Tuesday? It is.
No way.
Yeah, we get the
State of the Union address on that day too. Is it really? It is. Perfect.
It is. A week from today, the 5th. So we get to see what's going on with those energies. See if sparks are flying out of your head.
I may be glowing. I don't know. I may be glowing.
Very cool. Well, we'll see you on the 5th, and it was a pleasure having you. And you guys, Allison Coe was in here earlier. We're going to have Angie Dollar on tomorrow.
Angie, my sister.
She had a BQH with Allison Coe, so she's going to be on tomorrow to discuss that.
I will be in the chat for sure then. I will be there. Do you know what time that's going to be? Around the same time we do ours or so in the afternoon?
I think an hour earlier than we do ours.
I'll check
so it'll be 2 instead of 3.
2, okay. All right.
Yeah, so of course you can always go to the website, uotf.net, and look at the schedule, and it will give you the time of the show in your own time zone, which is nice. So you can go there, see when it's coming up. But yeah, it's 1 o'clock for me tomorrow. It'll be 2 for you.
Perfect.
2 Eastern time.
I'll be there.
I'll be in the chat. Light to everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for coming on, Michelle.
I love you guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.